everybody? Good morning, good evening. Welcome to another episode of the podcast, Behind the Headband with SethDrums. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. We're going to get right into it, man. We got a lot to talk about and so little time, but thank you again for sharing the podcast with your friends and family, and I hope you guys continue to watch. We'll be putting out some more episodes here in the near future. I don't know how much longer we'll be doing this. My goal was to have at least 6 to 8 episodes for season 1 of the podcast, and I still got some things to talk about, so we'll see. But we'll probably do a couple more episodes, and then we'll reevaluate and maybe get some guests on. But right now, let's talk about 2020. All right, let's get into it. 2020, you know, that was a crazy year, right? Crazy year for everybody. Crazy year for just the whole entire world, man. And content creators especially, because, you know, everyone had to stay home for a very long time. People were still working from home and that kind of thing. Big businesses were shutting down and making everyone work at home until they could figure out what to do. And for content creators, that was the prime time for a lot of us here in this space, because a lot of you found me during that time where we were on lockdown and stuff, because people were going to lose their friggin' sanity, man, without having some sort of entertainment, you know, some sort of connection with the outside world, instead of just staying home and looking at a wall all day, right? And finding content creators, finding live streamers was a way to interact with the outside world, and it was crucial to do that, right? To interact with people. And for me, you know, through the before 2020, I was getting really, I wouldn't say popular, but I was starting to have my brand. I was connecting with a lot of streamers, and the brand, the SethDrums brand, was starting to kind of grow a bit. And through all of that, 2020 hit, and a lot of people started watching Twitch. And I wasn't really posting much to anything else. I mean, I don't even think Instagram Reels was a thing yet. TikTok was still somewhat new. And I was, you know, through 2020, I did some posting on TikTok, but I still couldn't find my niche, right? Because I was like, how do I convey my 3.5-hour live streams of chaos to a 60-second clip on TikTok that would get people to want to watch my live streams? And that's the goal, right? To get people to come over from the other platforms and watch your live streams, because let's face it, man, music streamers don't do really well posting clips to social media still to this day because of copyright. You know what I mean? But so in 2020, you know, when the lockdowns hit, there was a lot of streamers going viral and a lot of viewers watching streamers go viral and all this stuff. And my career really started popping off in 2020. And the one stream I vividly remember so well was a game called Valorant, which it was peak then. It was peak. I mean, everyone was playing it, and Tim the Tap Man was averaging like 60 to 80,000 viewers when Valorant was so popular. And he rated my channel with 81,000 viewers. And this was like, I think early April of 2020. And so I went from having, you know, 100 people to 81,000 viewers all at once. And that was really crazy, bro. I mean, it was crazy. And I still remember almost like passing out because my blood pressure, my adrenaline, everything was just peak, bro. I mean, my heart rate, I'm pretty sure I had a heart rate monitor and it was like 120 or something, you know, like it was crazy, man. I have a clip here. If you're on YouTube, you can watch it with me, but if you're listening, you can still hear Tim. So basically at the end of his broadcast, he's like, man, we have this insane raid, this insane host. Who are we going to raid? And he says my name.
So we have a really big host, man. Should I host SethDrums? He'll have no idea what to do, bro, with a host like this. This is going to be funny. This dude's about to get like 80,000 viewers, bro.
And I was just sitting there, and people started like filtering in saying, man, mega host from Tim, prepare for 80,000 viewers. And I was shook.
Secondly, what?
Dude, my whole face just changed from me just being super chill like normal during the streams, and then I went from that to just complete utter panic because, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with all these people?
Chat, you got to be joking, man. This can't be happening. My blood pressure.
My blood pressure. Dude, there's no cap. My blood pressure, man, skyrocketed.
My blood pressure is.
I'm losing my mind, bro. Yeah, dude. So I literally so the raid comes in. And I play System of a Down Toxic City in front of 81,000 viewers. Absolute freaking peak for me, man. I mean, well, not peak. I mean, okay, I'll say 6 months ago, this stream was peak, but now things have been crazier the last 6 months than they ever have been. But, you know, this is a moment that I'll never forget because it's like, you know, going from just having just a bunch of people show up at the same time like that when that Tim Tapman was like that was his like highest viewed stream, you know, at the time. So having him at his peak and then raid a smaller creator like me, it speaks volumes that he's got to care somewhat about my content and me as a person, you know, like he just wouldn't just do that to anybody. I mean, there's literally hundreds of people that he could have chose at that time, and he thought it'd be, you know, for kicks and giggles, let's see what Seth does with all these people. You know what I mean? So I still just have so much respect for him, and I still just like to this day, I'm so just honored. I'm just really, really grateful, man, that he did that. You know, did it change my life forever? No, but it's a huge milestone that I'll never forget as a content creator, and just not just a content creator, like, you know, anybody would, that would be a milestone for anyone, you know, no matter what you do as a career or your job. It's just crazy to have something like that happening, you know? So after all of that, man, you know, I started connecting with Jordan Fisher, and Jordan Fisher, you know, after like I got raided with Tim the Tap Man in 2020, Jordan Fisher was watching the streams and he started singing live with me. It was, I have a clip here, really clip. I don't want to get DMCA'd on my channel, but he was watching the live stream with me, and he does like a lot of stuff in New York, like Broadway musicals and stuff. So he was a big streamer then too, man. So having him kind of like, it just really helped me traject forward. But then after all of that, I had to move, and then the streams kind of stopped. We were wanting to move, right? We were wanting to move because the home that we were in, it worked. But it was 1,000 square feet, and in 2020 we find out that my wife's pregnant with Ezra, and there's no way I would be able to continue doing what I'm doing for a living, playing drums really loudly and being so loud, and in a house that's, you know, 1,000 square feet with no proper professional soundproof room. There's no way I could do this and have an infant in the home, and it just wouldn't work. You guys know that, you know, it just wouldn't work. So, it's kind of crazy how it all, it was God's plan, bro. You know, God's plan, you know, but, it really did work out. We had some people from my church that were moving, and they were moving, and they were going to sell their home. And we've always looked at this house for many years. We always dreamed to live here, and we never thought we would actually move in here. Right. And We just drove up here one day, and the people were here that sold the home, but the people were here, and we knew them very well. We were like, we're kind of interested in buying the house, and they were like, all right, let's come take a look. And I'll tell you guys this is how I knew that it was meant to be, because I had this idea in my head. If I ever was able to move from the home that we were currently living in, I wanted to be able to have a place in a basement that had a room inside it, just to help with sound, because y'all know drums are loud, man. I don't play electric drums, I play acoustic drums, and cymbals are loud, and I scream really loud, and we just needed a spot in a basement, even if it was just like a temporary room built, with temporary walls, where something that I could work with, or just have a space in the basement that I could work with, even if I needed to build my own little space in the basement. I just needed a basement. And so we're walking through the house, just super casual, walking through the house, and the lady takes us through all the rooms, and I'm just like, we're just foaming at the mouth, like, man, this is awesome. Like, the kitchen's awesome. We had a walk-in closet that my wife really, really, really wanted in our next home. A very, very spacious living room and stuff like that. And then she goes, well, let me take you to the basement. I'm like, okay, there's a basement. And we walk downstairs. We walk out to the garage. I'm like, oh, this is really cool. This is really nice. And she's showing us there's a little tornado shelter in the back of the house underneath some concrete, which is really, really nice, especially when you're in Missouri. And she's showing us all this stuff. And there's like a little bathroom down here. I'm like, this is really nice. And she goes, let me take you to the other room. And we walk into this room that I have right now, that I'm in right now, if you're watching a YouTube channel. And she walks us in here, and I just see it. And I go, this is the spot. I knew it. I don't even know how I knew it, unless it was just some sort of intuition. I don't know. Or God just told me. But I walked in here, and I just saw my drums. I visioned my drums parked right there, right in this area. And I tried just not to break down and go, man, this is the spot. But man, I was so I had so many emotions running through my head. For one, okay, is this what we're supposed to be? Like, are we supposed to move here? And for two, how are we going to be able to afford this? Like, there's no way we can buy this. There's no way, right? And well, after that walkthrough and the conversation with the owners, we get home, we go back home, and I'm talking to my wife. I'm like, I don't know what you think about it, but this place is perfect. And she goes, absolutely. It's like, she said she just, when we walked downstairs into this room, she knew it was supposed to be. So we're like, okay, we gotta figure out a way to buy this house. Now, me being a content creator, taxes, it gets crazy. I hate it. Taxes gets crazy, and let alone trying to apply for a loan, and then having like the awkward discussion with the mortgage consultant or whatever, them asking you what you do for a living, because they're like, okay, we see all of this money coming in, but we still don't understand what you do, right? Like, do you launder money? I mean, it didn't ask me that question, but is what you do illegal? Not, do you do legal things to earn income? And I had these conversations, and boy, man, it was so very, very stressful. So very, very stressful. And we had this conversation multiple times with the guy, and he finally goes, okay, so you stream, like, you're a streamer, people give you money for you just to to pay the bills with. Like, why do they give you money? And I had to explain, like, well, we have a community of people, and people just they pay for entertainment, right? It's not any different than paying for YouTube TV. That's their source of entertainment. Some people just prefer to have entertainment in this way, right? It's like it's live content creators. There's all sorts of different ways people pay for that. And So that's what I told him. So the dude that was going to help me with the loan goes, well, I'm going to make a Twitch account. I'm going to watch. Richard, man. Hey, man, Richard, you're the GOAT. For a few weeks there, Richard would pop up in the stream, and he just had to watch me do work and see how I made an income, and it clicked. He's like, man, you know what? This actually makes sense. This is really, really cool. And he really helped me go through the loan process because it was scary because I'm like, are we going to even get enough money to, let alone, be eligible to get a loan with this sort of work that I do? Because it was 5 years ago, still not very popular, this live streaming thing. Now it's like everyone does it, right? Everybody knows what it is. Everybody knows what a social media influencer is. But 5 years ago, nobody had a clue. It was still very new. And eventually I was able to we applied, we went through the whole process, and it took so long to do that. And then eventually we got the loan, and it was absolutely the exact amount we needed to buy the home. I mean, I think maybe we got approved for maybe $5,000 more than what the house, sold for, but it was about, it was just right there. And it was just more of a confirmation that, this is where we're supposed to move. This is absolutely the right thing that we're supposed to do. This is the door that has opened, and we're walking through it. And I tell you what, it was really stressful because I was not creating content outside of streaming and also posting to YouTube. There's no monetization on YouTube as a streamer at the time. As a music streamer, there was no way to monetize that way. And it was really, 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 really difficult to make money outside of just streaming. And I wasn't posting a lot to TikTok because I didn't know what to post. And it requires you to grow. You have to have a minimum there's minimum requirements to monetize on TikTok. And moving and not streaming was so stressful. I have a pregnant wife. We're getting into like fall and winter, and we didn't use a realtor, so we had no realtor. I sold my home to a buddy while also buying a new home and moving all within the same month. So it was so stressful, man. To be able to, I would never do that again. I would get a realtor next time because we were just trying to save money. We were trying to save money, and during 2020, our interest rate was so low. It was very, very low. It was prime time to move and to sell because of interest rate. But it was also very stressful because there was, everything was handled differently, and it was a little bit more stressful that way. And there was a week there where we hired like a moving company because I didn't have a truck, and we weren't moving that far away. It wasn't like 30 minutes away. It was like 15 minutes away. So it wasn't like a drastic move, but we still had a lot of furniture and stuff we needed to move. I didn't have a truck, and this company. We hired this company to come and help us move. And dude, there was a chance of freezing rain that day. And they were really nervous because they got here and it started sleeting. And they really shouldn't have moved us because it was like sleeting and it was just dangerous. But they went ahead and moved us anyway because they knew that we had to get out of our house. Like it was like we had like a couple of days left before we close on our current home, before we move to the new home. And they pushed through, and I'm so grateful, man. I'm so grateful because we had bedding and a couch and washer and dryer, and they helped us move. And it was just one of the most stressful. I know I aged like 5 years, bro, that week because it was so stressful being able to move. Not only was it stressful moving, but I had to take time off from streaming. And back then, I only made money while I was live because you had people coming in resubbing, people gifting subs, new subscribers coming in and donos, and that only happened while you were live because I wasn't making money while I was sleeping. It was only when I was live. So I had to really force streams. There's some of y'all probably remember if you were back here, if you watched me back then, there was a time where I was streaming and I had nothing. There was nothing in here. I just went live just to like connect with my community and talk, and we played some games. If you guys watch the videos, I hope you do, but if you guys notice you won't notice, but the wall behind me is actually a temporary wall built that my brother-in-law did. About halfway down between like where the neon sign is, in between, like right in the middle of the neon sign and over to the left, there was a desk built in there, like a concrete, like wood desk, and built into the concrete. And the guy, I guess the first owner of the house, he did a lot of deer hunting. So he did a lot of that. He would get like antlers and stuff and make like arts and crafts sort of stuff. I don't know, taxidermy things. I don't know, whatever. That's like what rednecks do in Missouri. I don't know, man. Anyway, that was his hobby. So his man cave was built here, and he did those sort of stuff, hunting things. So he used that desk for whatever. But the desk could not be taken out. There's no way. The desk could not be taken out. So my brother-in-law, who is a jack of all trades, he helped build a wall, and we put a wall up, plywood, and then we painted on top of it, and then I just threw up, I just nailed in a bunch of just little wood strips, little plywood, not even plywood. It's just like designed. It's not even like real wood. It's a particle board, but it's just behind my drums, and it's just nailed up, and it looks sick. So it's kind of crazy though, but that's behind my drums is a half of a wall with a desk built in it. But you can't see it because we built on top of it. But we finally did it, man. And then and then early 2021, we got moved in, and everything started flowing, and eventually we just kept going, and it all worked out. But that was a very, very stressful time in my life. But I'm glad I made it, and I'll shout out to all the OG viewers that still supported me back then when I was really struggling with streaming and stuff. I mean, the drum streams didn't happen for a long time. I really want to get my wife on here to talk with y'all about that time, because she'd be able to help me remember more, because there's a lot to it. That there's just so much that happened during that time, and I don't remember a lot of it. I really do. It kind of all just kind of jumbles together. The days kind of just jumbled together because there was just so much going on, and it was so stressful. But I want you guys to know that it was really surreal when I finally got my drum set up in this room and everything started working out. I went from streaming in an 8x10 room where I couldn't even get behind my drum kit without knocking lights over. Going from that to streaming into a room that's triple the size was very surreal to me. And I'm so grateful where I'm at. And this room is so awesome. And I love where I'm at. I love the space that we've built, and you guys have helped me by donations building what we have now. And I'm going to tell you all right now, man, everything in this room was all funded by y'all. This community funded everything. I had one person buy me all brand new 4K cameras, and y'all helped me buy motorized tripods. The neon SethDrums sign, y'all helped buy that. And the lighting and everything that we have was all funded by y'all. And I'm not saying that to tell y'all that I'm better than anybody else, or I'm rich or anything like that. I'm just telling you because you guys deserve the honor. I gotta give y'all honor where it's due. And there's been so many people over the years that have contributed into my life that I use all this stuff because of you, because believing in me, believing in this brand, believing in this little place on the internet that we've created. And I'm forever grateful. I'm forever grateful. In the middle of 2021, people started kind of going back to work and stuff. And then, in March of 2021, my son was born. And that was completely a life-changing thing. If there are any parents here where you don't have any kids, and then you suddenly have a kid, and then your sleep changes, and you deal with problems, and sometimes kids get colic and all this stuff, and you just deal with a lot of stuff. And it was really, really hard. 2021 was a difficult year for me and my wife, because we were trying to figure out a schedule, and I'm just very grateful I got to work from home. I still get to work from home, but I was so grateful I got to work from home at the time, especially because lack of sleep can mess with you. And then drumming is very energetic. You got to have a lot of muscle strength. There's a lot of factors to it. It is a physical cardio workout, especially when you're really hyped up, and you get a lot of people hyped up, and you go off adrenaline. And I have some pretty bad back issues from it, from just playing super long hours and playing really fast and hard songs. But 2021 was very difficult. It was a life-changing year, but also kind of went back in the valley because people started going back to work, and I was not doing so hot with just sleep schedule and being just not very fun to watch. I don't think so, but a lot of people are like, dude, I still love your streams back then, but I beat myself up because I felt like I wasn't giving 100% to y'all back then. Eventually though, we started getting to a routine, and I started getting used to not sleeping very long. My poor wife, man, she was up. She slept like 3 hours a night, man. She was up every other hour, every hour with a colicky baby, and that was hard for her. And it was hard for me to watch her go through that. And, she's the absolute GOAT, man. She's a legend because she knew that I needed to sleep. She knew that I had to have energy for stream and be able to entertain chat. I gotta be functioning, right? And just living off of caffeine is not going to do it. You got to have good sleep for your mental state and everything. But my viewership started slowly going back down, and my sub count was not plummeting, but it was going down too. And that was difficult. But in 2022, and I'll probably the next episode we'll talk about some of the more viral clips that happened and where we are today because of those viral clips from 3 years ago. But in 2022, I started finally posting more consistently to TikTok. I don't really remember when Instagram Reels was implemented. It might have been more of like 2023. I'd have to go back and look. But that's when I started posting stuff. And really, the thing is, my content has always been this way. Like, it's never really changed. Even 2017, I played a lot of absolute brutal mashups that were cursed or sometimes absolute fire. And really, people don't understand this sometimes, like my content has always been this way. It's always been natural for me to play songs that were either really good or really bad. And my personality has always been like the forerunner of my content. I like to laugh at silly things, and I make crazy facial expressions, and that's just who I am. That's just my character, I can't change who I am. God made me this way. If you don't like it, I guess you could listen to me instead of watch me. I don't know, man. But that's how my content's always been. So in 2022, I started posting a lot more, and my editor, who still edits now, Rawan, really started stepping up her game and helping me with short form content, which she already did really great anyway. But we just didn't have the audience on YouTube. And once TikTok, like, we started posting some really cursed mashups, and I'll show you guys. I'll talk to you guys more about it in the next episode. But there was a clip on Instagram in 2023 that went super viral, and it went viral on Instagram, it went viral on TikTok, it went viral on Facebook, all at the same time. And that's where everything really just kicked off, and it hasn't stopped since. And it's still getting crazier. It's getting crazier by the day, man. But that one clip really just sent me over the hump that I had. It really just put me over that mountain that I needed to climb and get over to the other side. All from that one clip. And that's why I'll leave you guys with this. If you're a content creator, it is an absolute must that you post content to multiple platforms. if you are just streaming to Twitch or YouTube or TikTok, you will not succeed for very long. That's just my opinion. And maybe you are successful right now doing that, but I'm telling you, in the longevity of the thing, you know, looking down the road 5 years, 10 years from now, just one platform is not going to be it. You got to branch out and you got to post on multiple platforms, because we had the TikTok scare not long ago. Imagine if that and it can still happen. We're not completely out, you know, we're not completely clear here. We still could possibly lose TikTok. But imagine if TikTok went down completely and people that are just streaming on TikTok and posting to TikTok lost all of that. And nobody knows who you are outside of that platform. You are cooked. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you are cooked. So you gotta branch out. Anyway, I'm getting kind of into the next episode, but next episode we'll talk more about that, about my short form content and why I started doing the content that I do and posting it. But I love you guys. Have a great day. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next time. See ya.